Jesus left the temple and was going away when his disciples came to point out to him the buildings of the temple. But he answered them, "You see all these, do you not? Truly I say to you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." As he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will this be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the close of the age?"
A word about the matter of the temple and the size of the stones. This is actually the third temple, but this was not granted by the Jewish people. The first one, of course, was built by Solomon. The second was built by Zerubbabel and those that accompanied him, Ezra and Nehemiah, on the three returns from captivity. This third one was a reconstruction of this temple by Herod. But Herod was an Idumean, a descendant of Esau, and was not liked by the Jews, and they did not grant that he was building a third temple, so they called it a reconstruction of it. Actually, it was a third temple. The stones that were being used were so large that some of them weighed 40 tons. This was such an engineering feat that the disciples were pointing out these huge blocks of stone in the walls of the temple, and Jesus then said that they would not be left in that position. Disciples, as many people today, were very interested in the matter of prophecy. What's going to happen, and what are the signs of these happenings? And these questions that are asked here, there are three of them. When will the stones of the temple be torn down? Secondly, what will be the sign of the return of Jesus, of his coming? And third, what will be the sign of the end of the age? Now, these are three questions that are still interesting today, and the answers are interwoven in what Jesus said. And Bud will read for us again verses 4 through 8.
And Jesus answered them, "Take heed that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All this is but the beginning of the sufferings."
Now, it's possible for a person to be led astray in the area of prophecy. Jesus warns against this. He also says that many will come and claim to be the Christ himself. And we are told there were some 60 people, 2 or 3 very prominent ones, who claimed to be the Messiah that came in the generation just before and the generation just following that of Christ himself. He also tells us that there will be wars and rumors of wars, and even these, while they are signs of the agony of the end of the age, that they're not the signs of the actual end itself. Even famines and earthquakes, which are becoming even more frequent in our own day, despite modern transportation, that these are only the beginnings of a period of sorrows. And we will turn then and read the 9th down through the 12th verses, or 13th verse.
"Then they will deliver you up to tribulation, and put you to death, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will fall away and betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because wickedness is multiplied, and most men's love will grow cold. But he who endures to the end will be saved."
He goes on to say this gospel will be preached throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations, then shall the end come. Now, just exactly which individual organizations will be involved in this end time is something we do not know. And this development, of course, is too big for any two organizations, and so this project will be shared by many other fellow sister organizations who will use these same telestar type of communication facilities. But now for the first time, this development of satellite communication is making possible in this generation in which I am now living and speaking, that this actually could, before the end of my lifetime, reach every last corner of the world. This is the first time this has been mechanically possible. Whether this will be the means that is used of Jesus in the prophetic fulfillment of this word, I do not know. All I'm saying is this, that earlier in my ministry, the mechanics of raising enough missionaries to go to every tribe in New Guinea, to find every last island in the Pacific, to find the interior of Asia, in some of the forbidden closed countries, this would have been very difficult. Today we have the mechanics, and all it requires is the programming and the raising the finances to make it possible in one generation to reach virtually every living man, woman, and child in the entire world. And there is the promise given here that this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations. Then shall the end come, not the end of the world, but the end of the age, the end of that dispensation, and a change transferring us into the type of dispensation which is yet to come. The disciples, of course, are concerned about timing on this, and I'm going to have Bud read for us now verses 15 through 22 in Matthew 24.
So when you see the desolating sacrilege spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop not go down to take what is in his house, and let him who is in the field not turn back to take his mantle. And alas for those who are with child, and for those who give suck in those days. Pray that your flight may not be in winter or on a Sabbath, for then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now, no, and never will be. And if those days had not been shortened, no human being would be saved, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened.
Here again we have a prophecy of a sacrilege which is going to stand in the holy, or the Holy of Holies. Historically, we would have regarded the prophecy in Daniel as already being fulfilled if it were not for this particular passage. The prophecy in Daniel is that there would be a desecration, a sacrilege, in the Holy of Holies, in the temple in Jerusalem. And about 167 B.C., Antiochus Epiphanes IV, having captured or being the ruler in Palestine, decided that all Jews would have to worship the Greek gods. And his insistence upon this led, of course, to the Maccabean revolt, which gave the Jewish nation semi-freedom for approximately 100 years until the Romans came and took over.